Hey, I have this opportunity and I thought about you. Would you be interested in joining a Sou-Sou for $500? And when it's your turn to be paid, you receive a profit of $3,500. However, hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for clicking on this video and watching this video. And this video is going to be about the blessing loom, money circle, money board, Sou-Sou flower, modern day Sou-Sou. It has many different names, okay? There are many names out there, so you may have heard blessing loom, you may have heard Sou-Sou flower, you may have heard modern day Sou-Sou, you may have heard Sou-Sou, you may have heard, okay, I'm not going to go through them all. But let's get into it. I'm going to be covering what is the blessing loom, how it works. I'm going to show a graphic on the screen describing the circle and how it moves along, and also talking about is it legal, illegal, what's being said by state officials so that we can come to the determination on what this is all about, and you can make the decision on if this should be something that you become involved with. Now, I will preface this video with stating that I cannot give you legal advice and I cannot give you financial advice because I am not a certified professional in any of those. But I will share my perspective and also share what I decided for myself. I received an invitation to join the Blessing Loom, and when I received that invitation, it wasn't referred to as the Blessing Loom. The person who was inviting me, and granted, I'm not going to reveal who was inviting me, just in case they end up watching this video, and shout out to you, I love you. But when they invited me, they referred to it as a Sou-Sou. So this is how it was presented to me. Hey, I have this opportunity and I thought about you. Would you be interested in joining a Sou-Sou for $500? And when it's your turn to be paid, you receive a profit of $3,500. However, you do have to invite 2 more people and they will have to pay $500 as well. Now, initially that raised a few red flags for me because I kind of had an idea of what a Sou-Sou, a legitimate Sou-Sou, actually was and how it functioned. And from my understanding with the Sou-Sou and growing up, it was referred to as an A-Sou in my culture. At least that's how I learned about it. I'm not sure if that's actually accurate, but it wasn't dependent upon me inviting other people to join in order for me to eventually be able to get this $3,500 profit. In fact, from what I knew about it, I didn't know that you were able to get more than you actually put into it. So it raised red flags to me. So I respectfully declined the invitation. I simply stated, I don't agree with putting my money into something that I truly don't understand. And of course, I was invited into a conference call, which I simply declined. But it still piqued my interest. So I got online and I started researching this and I read information about a legitimate Sou-Sou and I'm like, this is not what I was invited to. The way a legitimate Sou-Sou actually works. And I'll probably cover that in another video. So I just want to establish that this is not a Sou-Sou that is actually legitimate and doesn't have a scheme attached to it. So I got online and started doing some research. So what is the blessing loom? First of all, I'll show a graphic. This is what the loom looks like, and this is why it has so many different names. People refer to it as a circle, even though it's really in graphic form more of an octagon, if we're being honest. But people refer to it as a circle, and obviously, the way the graphic is laid out, this is not a pyramid at all. Definitely not a pyramid, right? Except that it's an aerial view of a pyramid. Look, I'll just match the colors to a pyramid. Anyway, moving along. But basically, you'll receive an invitation, and in order for you to join along the outer circle, and I have the outer circle colored a blue color, you have to pay a set amount of money to get in. In my case, it would have been $500. The way a lot of people are doing it is with $100, so that when it's time for the person in the center, which will be that green dot on the circle, that center payment, they'll receive $800. In my case, it would have been $4,000, which is why I would have profited $3,500, just because I would have put $500 into it. But this is what the circle really is and how it works. Let's get into it. So you make your initial payment, and let's just stick with $100 to make it easy. And you can see in this circle, Peter is actually in the center, and everyone who's joining on the outside circle, they are making that $100 payment to Peter. Now, keep in mind that Peter is not. I mean, he can, but he really isn't inviting everyone on the outer edge of the circle. The people who are being invited on the outer edge of the circle are being invited by the people at the next level, and that's Sandy, Jess, Jimmy, and Max, right? They're responsible for inviting those two people directly above or below their names, depending on their orientation in the circle. Now, once the circle is completely filled and you have all 8 slots on the outer edge filled and the person in the center is able to receive their full $800 payment, they now have a decision. They have to step out of the circle first of all, but they can decide to join back into a circle, go back into the outer edge, and then rise back up to the top and receive payments once again. But this is the most important thing that happens. The circle splits, and I'll show you 2 graphics, and hopefully I have enough space next to me in this frame to show them on either side. So Cindy and Maria, they will both be in command of a circle. Well, they say in command, but they will be receiving the payments next. They will move into the green or the center of the circle, and then the circle will be filled accordingly along the outer edges leading down to the last edge. So in Maria's case, for example, Jimmy and Max will follow her and they will move up to the level closest to the circle. And then everyone on the outer edge will move up closer. So in Maria's circle, it will be Kim, Candice, Dan, and Juan. Now, all of the people in the yellow or golden yellow color, they have to begin inviting people into that blue color to fit in the outer or to fill in the outer edge. And everyone who comes into the outer edge will now begin to pay Maria. And this process continues and continues and continues until everyone is paid or until there aren't enough people to recruit and the circle falls apart. And more on that, and that is why this is referred to as more of a pyramid scheme. So that is how this actually works. Now, will it work? It can for you if you end up in a circle with people who are trustworthy, people who have a good reputation, and people who are accountable. It definitely can work. But does that make it something legal to become involved in? And that's something that I've been following and researching online. And just because it works does not make it legal. So definitely go ahead and check all of your state laws and see what they say about pyramid schemes. And this is, in fact, a pyramid scheme. It's being it's being covered by the word gift or blessing, something that's pretty soft and positive and welcoming that will take people off guard, right? So that they aren't immediately defensive about it. If you use pyramid, obviously no one wants to join it. So let's call it something different. Let's call it a blessing. Let's call it a family and friends gifting circle. Now, obviously, looking at the circle and how everything progresses with people moving up to the center and how it splits, eventually the people in the circle won't be your family and friends. Eventually, it will be filled with people whom you have no idea who they are. It's a possibility, right? You have no idea who they are or any connection with them because it takes so many people to fill that circle before you move to the top. You're going to go through a lot of people. And that's how it happens. Now, let's go into more on the legality. So, there are a few states that have issued information on their websites and news stations, etc. But the short answer, is it illegal? Yes. The long answer is illegal because it is a pyramid scheme. It is, unfortunately. So I'm looking at my computer and we have the Connecticut State Attorney General and Consumer Protection Commissioner, and I'll drop the links down below for you all. They have issued warnings about the pyramid schemes showing up on social media. And of course, Blessing Loom is indeed mentioned. So keep that in mind, guys. There are a few official news out there coming from the Attorney General of a state issuing a warning against the Blessing Loom. And that's the title of this particular one. Let's move on over to the Better Business Bureau, right? As soon as I get to the Better Business Bureau page, so the Better Business Bureau issued a scam alert for easy money via Blessing Loom, and that was issued on April 30th. You're welcome to go ahead and read the entire article. Again, I will drop the link down below. We go into, I believe this one is in Texas. Yes, Bryan, Texas. And this news story is actually filed under crime. And the title says, Beware, Pyramid Schemed Disguised as Blessing Loom. So there are definitely a few sources out there that are calling this out by name as a scam. And the final one that I want to talk about is or mention is the Federal Trade Commission. They have issued on their website on May 21st, 2020, and they talk about some of the different names that this Blessing Loom is referred to as, and said this game is a chain letter scam. So that's the information that's out there for you all. Understand that this is not specifically a Sou-Sou. A Sou-Sou is legitimate, but this is different. But that is the Blessing Loom. I wanted to do this video, make it nice and short and informative and sweet for you all. So definitely check out those links below and just be cautious with jumping into any of these schemes that are just disguised a flower. This thing looks absolutely, doesn't even look like a flower, but they're calling it a flower. So you don't think it's a pyramid scheme. Ooh. All right, guys, I will see you all in the next video, and thank you all for watching.